Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you guys are having an incredible day. It is so wonderful to be here once again. We are doing a mini challenge, pop-up surprise challenge. And we are doing this because this month is super, super important. Hello, Angie. Hello, Marilena, my beautiful, beautiful star sisters. Love you so much. Thank you for being here. Hi, Fidel. So great to see you. All right, my love. So we have a jam-packed night for those of you that are going to participate. Listen, I want to reiterate why this month is so important in terms of why we're doing this work. And it's really not just that it's this month. It is this entire year, the way that it looks like to me in these dimensions. It's like the world was spinning and it went through like a 0 point into a negative energy frequency, and now it's coming back out. Okay. And literally, it's like moving from one octave to another. Okay. So when that happens, a lot has to change psychologically. We are deprogramming centuries of programming. We are just now letting go of these old programs, you see? So, in that process of letting go of old programs, there has to be a death process that occurs. And the death process, for all of you that are here, that I know you have all gone through your dark night of the soul, many for some of you, as I have, in order to get really clear about what needs to be let go and what needs to stay. And every level that we're working on releasing and discarding these programs that are no longer serving us, we are having to see what is left behind. It really isn't so much about replacing, is it? As you might notice, it's more about discarding the shells of personality, psychological programs, emotions, collective programs, collective traumas. Now we're going into the subconscious, into the DNA, into the holographic genetic data of mankind, right? So the collective structures of belief, the definitions of compartmentalizing personalities, archetypes, sexes, all of these ways that energy has self-organized itself in order to create the constructs of our reality have to come into question in order to sustain a new way of operating vibrationally. Because the new human is not just a concept. The new human is an entire state of vibrational mechanisms that create a chain reaction in the collective system. So the human that wakes up is doing more than just, let's say, becoming joyful every day. Okay, this is the surface level. What you humans, you beautiful humans that are here in the chat, do every single day, deep diving into your shadows, into the deepest reaches of your subconscious mind through your levels of awareness, are the transmutation and the healing of this earth. Why? Because in the subconscious mind, where all of these programs live, you are touching and you are working when you are in meditation, when you are in that subconscious level, when you stay still and you stay quiet and you start to allow the emotions to come up, all the stuff that is stirring in you to begin to come up, you are touching into the non-tangible aspect of your multidimensionality. And all of that is within the layers of your field. And the deeper you go into this information, okay, the deeper into the subconscious mind you're going, into the deepest fields of your body. Okay, let's take out the presentation because let's get some visuals to this so we can get clear about what and why we are doing. And the reason why it's important to get visuals is because many of you write me and you say, I've encountered this. Why am I encountering this? So I want to help you see what I see, the multidimensional body. And this is something that every single one of you has the ability of seeing as you cultivate your vision. Okay, every single one. What I see is not something special. It is what each and every one of us have the ability to see. So what we want to train ourselves in doing is beginning to activate that. So hold on a second. Let me open up. Let me find this slide. And we're going to jump into this conversation about the field. Okay. 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 So as you know, this is the structure of the multidimensional body. And so this looks like a lot of stuff going on here, but I'm going to explain the parts part by part. Okay. Here's your human body. Here are your chakra systems. Each one of the chakras is a processing system of emotional data. Each one of these rings that are encoded in different colors are the entire field of your body that make up this human. Hold on, let's go back to that. And the reason why it looks like this is because the human at the center of this field, actually, he's at the center here. And all of these layers of the body are essentially allowing the human to create filters of perception. Okay. So each one of these layers, so again, every single one of these layers is processing a different range of vibrational frequency. What frequencies? The spectrum of light is processed through that vibrational frequency. And that vibrational frequency is essentially emotional data, which creates perception information that we process. Okay. So every single one of the chakras is oscillating and functioning at a certain frequency. And information has a certain frequency. The feeling of fear has a certain wavelength, it has a certain shape and form. And we recognize that shape and form through the layers of our body as we perceive them. And these perceptions are then filtered through this multidimensional layers. Okay. So each one of these little layers that surround us in our body can be expanded and contracted depending on how we are aware of our space and how we are using the information that is in our field. Okay. So the human body has, so the field that we are also expanding and contracting will define how we experience something. Okay. When we are out of alignment, our bodies do not look like this, really nice and organized. The body looks kind of like we have fields that are completely out of the body. Let me remove that for a moment so it's not confusing. Okay. We have fields that are completely out of the body. We have things that are contracted, complete things, layers of the body that are stagnant. So there's a lot going on, okay? So in order for the body to be completely back into alignment, we really have to bring ourselves into this state of coherence, okay? And the coherence is not just about the heart chakra, it's the entire multidimensional body, okay? So within the layers of your perceptions are reference points of experiences that you've had. Every single one of these dots is a reference point that's categorized and coded by a vibrational frequency. So every color that you see here is a different frequency. And that frequency self-organizes with other experiences and events, past lives, future potential expressions of yourself, all unite and kind of like I don't want to say collect. They collect next to one another. Okay. So, when we actually go into healing, okay, let's zoom in here. Let's zoom in here to this. Okay. Let's see this point right here. This blue point that this individual has. Let's say that this is a blockage here. And this blockage is creating a pain in over here the spleen of the physical body. Okay? So this spleen, the pain that it's emitting is is so first of all, pain is created in order to get attention of the human that is in a state of dormant, a hypnotic state. When the human is in a hypnotic state, the human is not aware of what is happening. The human is not aware of the triggers that are occurring. Okay. So what happens is that this human has to completely become aware. The human has to become aware in order to no longer be in a state of survival. So what happens to this human is that he develops a severe pain, and when the human goes into the pain, he begins to access memories. First of all, it's going to be emotions in that pain. The pain can be so sharp that he might feel like he's going to pass out. And things like stones, things like blockages in the movement of our organs are the crystallization of thought forms in the body. Okay, I want to make that clear. When we are holding on to emotional data that we have stored in the body and we have not released out of the body in a good amount of time, they begin to crystallize in the body over time. Okay, so what happens is that these emotional points in the body are essentially going to create this pain that when you sit with the pain will begin to uncover memories and emotions. And there is also an available aspect to this that underneath those emotions and memories, most of these memories are rooted in this lifetime, but there will also be memories of potentially past lives. And I talked about this yesterday, that all of your healing is available for you in this lifetime. So you must address this lifetime. When trauma is so severe that a person either forgets the memories completely, doesn't have access to any memories in their childhood, okay, or it is so severe and there's a disassociation between the body and the higher self, the human will begin to resonate the pain and the suffering there because they don't have any awareness of their early life. They're going to think it's a past life, and they're going to say, oh, this pain is actually because I was a priest and I didn't use my energy correctly. Okay. And although that might be true, what you're going to discover is that as you uncover the layers of this life as yourself as a priest, that in this lifetime, you are repeating the same emotional pattern. Okay. You're repeating the same emotional pattern. So, what that means is that that emotional pattern has to get to the root in order for the human to heal these multidimensional aspects. And when he begins to integrate that emotional trauma from the past life, he will uncover the memories in this life that have been suppressed. Okay. So I wanted to talk about that really quickly because in our healing process, a lot of times we have a really hard time connecting to the emotional data that cause so much suffering in our physical bodies. But we really need to do the work. Okay. And so, what happens in months like this month, where we are going through a gateway energetically of cleansing, it's almost like we're running through the wash, okay, of frequency. In order for us to be able to move through this gateway of frequency, it is important to unpack deep crystallized densities, memories, stagnation, and trauma that is stuck within the field. And this month, I don't know if any of you have seen my hypnotherapy from 2017, but in one of those hypnotherapies, I believe it's 133 on Alba Weinman's channel, I talked about Pluto coming in to create a major transformation. Okay. And these images are overlapping. Okay. When I travel these dimensional layers, the images of Pluto entering the space are overlapped with the months of April and March being major pinnacle moments of transformation for humanity. Why? Because all of the things that have been hiding in the subconscious mind, not just individual, but collective, are coming up. Okay. And what that means is that the human has an opportunity to go into major expansion. Because once you override those limiting belief programs, you have the ability of activating higher faculties. And many of you will experience this simultaneous awakening. There's also another element that Pluto brings in, and we're talking about the astrology, but the way I want you to look at it is cosmic opportunities that are embedded in our DNA. Because the fact that Pluto's coming, it's kind of like the little image symbolism of something much deeper. It is the transmutation of your genetic data. And these events that happened in cycle forms, because we've experienced this similar energetic climate, how 1,700 something years ago, created a shift for humanity then, and it does the same now. But remember that because our reality is a hologram and we project our reality, what's actually guiding this co-creative experience within what we call the matrix, the hologram, is everything that we are encoding in our genetic data. Okay. Our DNA has the opportunity that when it goes through mutations, especially collective mutations, how times examples of collective human genetic mutations, mass wars like World War II, okay, was not, this is a sticky subject for a lot of people. The elimination of certain genetic data on the network of our global world was more than just religion. Okay, that entire World War II intention was actually a lot about genetic data. And the reason why is because groups of consciousness is encoded in your DNA. And when a human goes through a heightened ascension point, they create mutations in the DNA. It has nothing to do with religion. So please, let's keep those things separate, because I want you to imagine a world in which the religion is not actually playing the role in these dynamics and changes collectively. Just for a moment, I want you to look at it as if your genetic data is self-organized on the planet Earth amongst human beings, human organisms. And when these human organisms go through cycles of ascension, both micro and macro being collectively, through the collective frequencies that we experience, the human has the ability to change the codes that they are inheriting in their ancestral lineage. And when we become aware of this through the understanding of the utilization of alchemical practices, for example, or other of these mystery school techniques, which dedicated on the mastery of life force, because you are life force. You are primordial life force, and that primordial life force is encoded in a binary system in your genetic data. So all of the information that is in your DNA is essentially expressed through the field in order to create the experiences. So the interests of genetically modifying our DNA have grown over time, because when you slow down or when you interfere with the alchemical process of genetic data, you deepen the dormant states of DNA. You deactivate DNA. So humanity now has entered another octave of frequency, which allows DNA to come into its more full expression, which we could have been there before, but the nature of this organism called Earth functions at a very specific rate that allows for experiences of duality. Okay, so in this terrestrial realm, as we are activating our DNA, each individual has access to a fuller code, which is the non-physical access portal ways into our interdimensional information. Starseed information, past life, future life, all that information is available to the human, which they can utilize for transmutation and activation and essentially the mutation of your genetic code. So this is what we want to do this month, because this month, as Pluto, this energy, this cosmic energy, is cycling through the collective, which allows the deepening, accessing the deepest aspects of the subconscious mind, the collective subconscious. So what's going to happen when that happens? Truths come out into the open, things that are well known, things that we thought were hidden, things that we thought were covered, suppressed information, lies, both internally with yourself, lies that you tell yourself, lies that you tell others, lies that are being held in communities, lies that are held in societies, and cultural lies, lies about health, lies about the physical body, lies about medicine, lies about our history. All the lies that have been hidden are coming up now in a way that will quickly rebalance the collective consciousness. It will accelerate consciousness. Why? Because when we are embedded with lies in our programming, we cannot activate our genetic data because the input is limited. If our input into this epigenetic structure is limited and it's controlled, what we project into reality will also only function through filters of indoctrination and genetic engineering. Okay, genetic engineering and social engineering, psychological engineering, your manipulation of belief and your manipulation of understanding of who you are. Because human is the most advanced bioelectrical technology that exists within this realm that we were aware of, right? But in other words, you are a creator in such a powerful way that you affect the outcome of the entire collective. And another thing that happens with this major collective shift is that as we are moving through higher octaves collectively, what's going to happen is that more people are going to become aware of this ability, to activate your DNA, which is why DNA has been the main interest for centuries. But we are not aware of that interest because we've been sleeping, focusing on external technology. We've been distracted with that without understanding the real value that exists, the real advanced technology in this entire system, which is DNA. Okay, so one of the things that creates the manipulation of gene codes of your base DNA blueprint is, of course, epigenetically the food that we're eating, the environment, all of those factors, the infinite variables that are around us. But there's also another element, an overlay into the navigation of our subconscious mind. And this is why this month is important for disclosure, okay? That whatever activities you guys have been doing in your subconscious mind, which means your dream state, when you go to sleep or when you leave your body, You have been very active. You are all super active. What you think are dreams are actually your navigation in higher dimensional levels. Again, remember the picture of the fields of your body. The higher the dimensions, the higher you're navigating in your dream state, the deeper brain waves you are able to cultivate in your body, the further or the higher frequency and dimension you can access. Okay, which means that also your ability to recall those memories is going to be more vivid. You're going to remember your dreams more. Some of you have been remembering your dreams since you were a child. You were lucid dreaming. What is lucid dreaming? That you become conscious that you're dreaming in your dream, even if it's Candyland, or if you're on a spacecraft, or if you're on a different planet, or if you're with family and friends in this scenario. Okay. The moment you become aware that you're dreaming, you're already activating and functioning at a deep brain wave, and your entire multidimensional body, your DNA, is immediately encoding that data. Okay, you're activating your DNA. So this is super, super important, because this is the navigation of your subconscious mind. Every navigation from the 6th up to the 13th dimensional layer of your body is the subconscious mind. Okay. Yeah, and well, anyway, it goes a little more complicated because we're duality. So the front of the body is masculine, the back of the body is feminine. And this is another element that the feminine, the divine feminine, represents the subconscious mind. And we can go back to all the old mystery schools to look at that beautiful study of that. But there is infinite amount of symbolism to help us understand that the integration of the physical and the non-physical, the masculine and the feminine, those integrations essentially are the ones that create the high octave of the human. Okay, so again, the mastery of the divine feminine is not just, it's not only the balancing of our feminine energies, it is the mastery of the subconscious. It's the mastery of out-of-body experiences, because this out-of-body experiences in dream time is where we experience encounters with interdimensional consciousness. Okay, when you are accessing interdimensional consciousness, you are accessing fractals of yourself in higher dimensional layers. Okay, so when you are accessing in dream time, you are literally accessing your ET self here. Okay, let's say over here, this gray self. Let's go here. Right, so you're accessing these archetypal aspects of yourself. So the archetype is the way that this information is organized and filtered through the human mind. Okay, our archetypes that we have on Earth are only through our human mind and through the vibrational frequency structure of this multidimensional hologram. Okay, so for example, we have 13 dimensional layers. Okay, so we have 13 main archetypes. Okay, and those 13 main archetypes basically are the basis of every personality test out there, of the Myers Briggs, of Gurdjieff's personalities, system. I mean, I can go on and on. The examples of these basic core systems, everything from Kabbalistic studies, numerical studies, Pythagorean studies of how information self-organizes. We look at archetypes being playing a very important role in how information self-organizes in this hologram. Okay, so when you begin to have access to these dream states, you then have access to these archetypal subconscious fractals of yourself, such as ET consciousness. Okay, now one thing that happens in these higher dimensional planes is that just like we are living in a hologram, you and I, and we have this entire complex life stories about ourselves. we have, families, we have these units, we have friends, we have life stories. In that same way, we organize experiences in these dimensional layers by interacting with these archetypes. And one of the ways that we can filter these illusions is by understanding that everything in this universe functions in exchanges. Okay, we are always exchanging with something. Just like in our life, we exchange with one another. In these dimensional layers, we're also exchanging. But as we know in this waking state, in order to exchange, you need to have discernment. You need to be conscious. If you're not conscious, you are just repeating the same inherited patterns. So it's the same thing in this dream state. In this dream states, if we don't become lucid, we won't know what we're getting into or what we're doing in these higher dimensional planes. And it could be that our exchanges with these fractals of ourselves are not to our are not to the benefit of the collective. That's actually the most important. Because when we operate in these higher dimensional planes, our focus becomes unified as an entire organism. We are, see this inside your body is the entire universe. Here is galaxies, universes, etc. Okay, so you are an entire, not just one universe, you're a multiverse, and you are a portal to those universes through this little physical vessel. Okay, so what is interesting about this is that it's really important that we understand becoming lucid, because in our dream states, we have the ability of choosing whether we want to participate parasitic programs or not. And programs such as hybridization programs or other programs can be parasitic if we don't understand what we are getting into. Okay, so all of that is coming out into the mainstream now. And it's already been through some light disclosure through the government talking about anomalous pregnancies with UFO sightings, biological changes, psychological changes as a result of interdimensional contact. And as you see, the veil is thinning in that these experiences will become more physical for many, many people. Okay, when we see lights in the sky, when we see the UFO, we actually interact with it. Okay, and even though you and I feel like we're physical, remember, we are interdimensional. We are completely interdimensional. So in the same way we look at our reality together here like that, I want you to look at your interactions with interdimensional beings in that same way, because that is how you will learn how to discern and utilize those laws. The laws of interaction are the same, okay? Which means that you have absolute free will. You get to choose what you're doing, as long as you're conscious, as long as you're lucid, as long as you are in your state of awareness, you get to choose what's happening. If you're not in awareness, if you're afraid, if you are, if you hate yourself, if you don't like being in your body becomes a host to any number of things. And therefore, because this is a natural, the way that nature works, okay, other more opportunistic consciousness comes and take over the body. Okay, so this empowered self is important, and this Pluto energy, this portal way that we're kind of moving through this month, will uncover those things. And so to prepare that, I want you to train this level of lucidity. Okay. All right, let's go into the chat. I really want to tune in, see what you guys are feeling. How are you guys doing? It's so awesome to see you guys. Marilena says 2 years. Oh no, Angie says, hello, Marilena. Yes. Hi, Christina. Marilena says, Fidel, timing from my side. Geraldine has been such an awesome guide. I have come very far with her guidance. I'm very grateful. That's amazing, Marilena. Huge, huge love to you. And you know what just really just makes my heart expand is just you guys doing your work, because I know how it is to sit in meditation and get into those shadows. I mean, you guys are so brave, and the love that you have for yourself and this human experience is divine. It is pure. It is just so inspiring. So it really touches me to hear that you guys are doing this work. Not just because it comes from me, because I'm just a channel for information that you already know. This is just reminding you. You guys already knew all of this stuff, right? So, Fidel, thank you so much. She says she's a true gift for all of us. Love you. Thank you. Doug, thank you. Scott says spear ruler, huh? Oh, yeah, that is the meaning of my name. The meaning of Geraldine means mighty with a spear. So yeah, you got that. Rob Core, peace and gratitude. Thank you. Samantha, how would you define the shadow self? Okay, awesome question. Okay, so essentially, to make it simple, the shadow self is all the parts that have become fractalized, fragmented from being a whole. Okay, actually, healing means becoming whole. Okay, it's an illusion that we're separate, just the way this matrix is an illusion. When you incarnate as white light into the physical vessel, the white light fragments into the body and self-organizes by vibrational frequency. But essentially, that fragmentation is a temporary experience until the vessel wakes up consciousness to remember that it's white light again. Okay, so the shadow self is essentially all of the fragmented parts that haven't remembered that they're white light. So to heal, all we have to do, super simple, get to the fractalized parts of yourself and walk them back to the light, or allow them to see themselves as white light again. That's all that's happening. And this is why I say that our life is a journey of learning unconditional love, because unconditional love is that white light. You become white light when you are unconditional love. Okay. And unconditional love is the ability of seeing yourself and all things as a part of you. You broke the matrix, essentially. You're seeing beyond the veil of separation into the unity that is all, and the fact that you create your reality. Okay, so these are not just abstract concepts. The way the mechanisms of this hologram are that you project into your reality. Your DNA code stores information of fractalized experiences, past and present, projects through the self-organized system of the chakras into your everyday life in order to create a life. The life is the sequence of experiences in order for you to experience. Okay, so this life is simply an exploration of experiences, because infinite consciousness learns through you. You and I, everyone here on this call, we're a spectrum of different experiences. And it is so beautiful. Imagine being the director of all of this, or I don't want to say it like that, because I don't want you to have the image of a god or a deity. There's none of that. It's frequency, it's white light, it's white. That white light in which is held all the spectrum of vibrational colors is learning through the different colors. It learns through green, blue, pink, orange, white. Okay, it learns and it experiences. And through those learnings, it expands its range of colors, essentially. Okay, so we are experiencing. That's why we can't take this life that serious. And we also have to understand that it's very short. It's a very short temporary moment of experience that you're here to have. So many of you have such heavy traumas and hearts. We got to get that going, because it doesn't exist right now. And if you're going through a hard time right now, we have to readjust our perception to remember that this is a temporary experience. But we also need to understand how we got there, because we got there because we wanted to get there. Okay. You wanted to experience that suffering. If you don't know how you got there, you better know, because otherwise you're going to keep getting there over and over again. And that's the mechanisms of this experience, because that's what it's for. Okay. So you get to choose what you're experiencing, and that shadow self is essentially all the fractalized parts that are separate from the whole. Okay. So when we see, let's say we have resentment, let's see, something that's been coming up this week a lot in sessions is, let me think really quickly. Hold on, I have it at the tip. It's like a concept that's been coming up a lot, and I want to make sure I name it today, because it's important for our conversation. Oh, yeah, the mistrust in the self. Okay, which goes through layers, right? Yeah, so feeling resentment, anger, feeling fearful, being fearful of not being accepted by others in such a deep way, for example, that you hinder your expression. Okay. So what happens is that we basically become contracted. We completely become contracted in our expression, and we don't deliver the divine information that you are here to deliver. Okay. So this happens a lot. And so, for example, to change this shadow part of you, that is the judgmental part of yourself, immediately coming into self-love, self-acceptance, and remembering that your acceptance doesn't come from the external, it comes from the internal. Immediately you can shift that program. And what happens is that the body begins to expand. So this is a tiny example of how to become whole again from that tiny example. Okay. Jimmy says, I was feeling like I lost my spirituality until I saw an orb last night. Wow, that's awesome, Jimmy. And so orbs are amazing. You know, they are, I mean, well, we can go deep into that, but it's a fractal of yourself, you know, your higher aspect of yourself that manifests into reminding you that this is, um, you know, what is real and what is not real. So Marilena, I have been lucid dreaming lately. However, I'm still not fully in control of my dream state, and I forget as soon as I wake up, my energy body remembers. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, so once again, quick tool that you guys can do, have a notebook next to your bed. And as soon as you wake up, just jot it down, even if you write down keywords, so you don't forget the main dream and the main things that happened, because they can really help you. If you sit and meditate with those dreams, you might get a lot of guidance for how you were living, okay? Pono says, I'd like to give you challenges, many mini ones or big ones. Oh, thank you. Scott says, your name is encoded in the flower of life as the 33 rune. Oh, that's very interesting. 33 is when I had my major awakening, and major downloads, and changed my life completely. When I was 33, I ended my engagement and I sold my business and completely surrendered to this work. So it's a very significant year for me. And of course, I saw 33 everywhere. You know, that a lot of you have that. Samantha says, how can we connect with our subconscious mind? Right. Excellent question. So the subconscious mind, how do we access that? So basically take a look at all of the programs that are running the external expression. Okay. So right now, let's say we have a smile on our face and we're doing all this, but then subconsciously you have like a tightness in your belly and you have anxiety. Okay. So that is the subconscious mind. And whatever is in that tightness and that anxiety in the core of your belly is exactly what's actually creating the reality. So in other words, it is the root of your emotions. Okay. So remember emotions. I have a video on the channel about primary, secondary, and tertiary emotions. The tertiary emotion is the root. Okay. Some of you, if you're completely disconnected from your emotions, it's hard for you to vocalize emotions, to describe them, to name them. You might have to go deeper than 3 layers. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the more you learn and get to know yourself through your emotional body, it'll be easier for you to name out emotions, and it'll be easy for you to get to that root quicker. Okay, so those of you that practice DNA reprogram with me, you guys know how to do this pretty good. But whatever is at that root is the subconscious program. Okay, so it's what's actually running the show, and this information is stored in your body. So you will follow that emotion through the body, and wherever the body tenses up with each emotion is where you're storing that and many other memories. Just like I was showing you that blue point where you can access past life memories, we're actually accessing current life memories exactly the same way. Okay, so an example, if you have this fear, anxiety, as I was mentioning in the belly, you sit with that emotion, you can begin to uncover all the memories in this lifetime that you've had with that emotion. It can be hundreds of them, right? Okay, so you want to work through those. And you will also begin to uncover all the past lives in which you've had that emotion. Can you believe that? Yeah, that's how deep the healing work can go. And the more you have mastery over being neutral, the quicker you'll be able to transmute without attaching to them or creating re-traumatizing yourself. Because another element that happens when we uncover these emotions is that we get caught up in the story of what happened to us that caused that anxiety in this example, and then we get lost in that. How do we get lost? We feel sorry for ourselves. Okay, this is a major, major problem in spiritual healing. Most of the reason why we can't move forward is because we feel really sorry for ourselves. And that means that we haven't transcended a dualistic compartmentalized perception. And the ego has not been nurtured. Okay. The ego is running the show there, but the ego is suffering. Okay. So you might think that you're honoring that ego by letting the ego keep feeling that suffering over and over again. But in reality, the ego is suffering. Okay. Because it's stuck in one frequency of suffering, and it can be there forever. And you become that. Okay. So if you are completely identified with your suffering, life is over, because that's all you know, and that's all that you're going to experience externally. And eventually that will turn into illnesses of some kind, ailments in the body. Your vortex becomes counter creation. Okay, so all of these root programs are essentially what's running the subconscious beliefs. And another thing is that this anxiety that you're unpacking with memories is also running your dream state, because the collection of all these subconscious programs makes up your vibrational signature, which defines what you attract. It is the magnetic resonance that attracts you to people, places, and things that you're in alignment with. Okay. So you got to change the frequency, deprogram the shadow, change the frequency, and your waking state will change, and so will dream state. So those of you that are having parasitic contact, and remember, if it's parasitic, you're looking through it through a very specific filter. We just the way we see our everyday lives neutrally, we also want to see our interdimensional experiences through neutrality as well. And that does take a little more cultivation, takes more self-trust and practice in meditation, growing gray matter in the brain, and also calming down the nervous system. Okay, that is required in order to be able to master interdimensional contact through a more broader filter. Okay, so Jimmy says, if I'm seeing a lot of UFOs suddenly, does it mean something? Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me tell you why. Because UFOs are all around us all the time, all the time. I look up in the sky and it is always packed, 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 packed. And at the beginning of this year, oh, through the last eclipse, um, because of my astrological energies and who I am and what I am, there were fleets of super consciousness beings coming into this terrestrial plane. And all of that is in my universe. I want to make that clear. Okay. However, if it's happening to me, it's happening to everyone because, again, we co create. So in my universe, the access to higher dimensional levels, interaction into the physical is totally awake because of the climate that we're in collectively. So, in other words, if you are seeing UFOs, your veil has thinned now. And the more your veil thins, the more you will see. The more you will see UFOs, the more you will have interactions. This is a part of your ascension, the highest cultivation of your higher faculties. It is the activation of your DNA. When your DNA activates, you are able to process and holographically project into your system dimensions in which these now become visible to you. Okay, so the same Jimmy you saw an orb, same thing. Okay, this is why I'm saying your higher self brings for you these things for you to experience. And I remember when I first had this vision in 2013, holy moly, I still was like a baby. I didn't understand how to even make sense of what I was seeing. It wasn't really until 2017 that I really began to really understand everything through frequencies. So my invitation to you is use the language of the universe, which is energy, to be able to discern how you're navigating things. Okay. There is nothing outside of you, is essentially what I want to tell you. And it's important to remember that, just have that in the back of your mind when you guys are seeing UFOs, when you see the news about UFOs, have that in your mind. We are collectively activating higher dimensions for the entire earth. So more people will see. Okay. And a lot of that will be talked about this month and this coming year as we are moving forward into a space age. Okay, we are going into a space age. Why am I lucid dreaming super soldier programs? Oh yeah, that's a topic, Pono. We'll talk. If you have a question, let me know. Why am I lucid every other time? Can't be consistent. I wake up and remember the emotion and why I didn't do something about it this time. Okay, so yeah, that's okay, Carolina or Carolina. The fact that you are waking up lucid half the time is incredible. Okay, and I'll tell you what that means. And this is specifically for you, my love, just tuning into the space. Um, Okay, so you're activating you there. Okay, so you have activated a certain range of frequency, but there's other range of frequencies that we haven't activated yet. Okay, so when you activate DNA, your filters become clearer. Okay, in the dimension at the level that your DNA is activated. Okay, so if you really activate your DNA into its full codon expression, you can see up to 22, 25, 55, 60 dimensional layers. You can navigate consciously and remember. Okay, how do I know this? Because I did this. Okay, so I know that you can do this. So Carolina, if you remember half the dreams, you're lucid in half the dreams, remember that when we sleep, this is our time for us to release subconscious programs and experience subconscious dimensions. And we are navigating infinite layers of dimensions. Okay, let me give you a visual to this. Maybe it'll help. Hold on. Yeah, so just looking at this, right? So let's say that your dream, the dream that you remember, is right here in seventh plane. Okay. And let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you come into the seventh plane. Okay. The other days, you're coming into the 8th and the 13th, but your body isn't in the resonance of 8th and the 13th. So you're not going to remember what happened there. You're not going to remember. Because in order to experience these dimensions, your body has to resonate at those dimensional layers. Okay. If your frequency, that's why I'm telling you, come into 0 point, because 0 point, you can go anywhere without any problem. You can navigate anything. But if you're not in 0 point, if you have this chakra wide open, chakras are all inverted out of the body, you're hindering what you're in resonance with up here. Okay. So we want to allow the body to be able to hold at highest bands of frequency, which is white light that includes all colors. The colors are dimensional layers. So if you become white light, you can navigate through all dimensional colors. Colors is like, it's frequency, right? I just want to make sure you understand, like, we're talking about frequency. Okay, so if your body is mostly red and orange, you won't be able to come up here because it's a different frequency. The wavelength of your body is long and slow, while up here it's this. So in dream state, when you go into this deepest dream brainwave, your brainwave also is a certain level. Let me see, I should have that here somewhere. Brainwave, give me a moment to find brain waves. Where on the brain waves? Let's see if we can find brain waves. Okay, here we go. Brain waves. Okay, so see, brain waves also have frequencies. They also have certain shape of the patterns of wave. Okay, so if you're in delta, your brain wave is at a certain frequency here. Okay, when you're in gamma, look at this. Insight, expanded consciousness. Look at how close these waves are. Super high vibrational frequency. Most of us barely come up to here. When we are in G-Pack, when we are grounded, protected, aligned, protected, we're in alpha. Anytime you go into nature, you come into alpha. Automatically, your body does this because the electrical charge in your body rebalances to 0. That's what we're doing. When I do healings and I say all charges down to 0, negative, infinite, it's 0 point. We bring the charges because emotions have charges that when you have too much of one emotion, like fear, the charge of your body, the electrical charge of your body, hinders your ability to be a conduit of infinite consciousness. You can't be a conduit to high vibrational frequency. You can't access these higher waves, okay, that allow you to navigate into this. So when you're up here in gamma expanded consciousness, you can come up here to gamma expanded consciousness. Look at this layer of your body right here. See, it's light blue, just like that expanded layer of consciousness. Okay. I don't know how to make it cool, whatever, you get the point. But this layer of your body essentially is at this frequency, okay? So that is essentially how and why we can only remember some of those dreams, but not all of them. What we want to do is we want to bring our body into the 0 point in order to remember more dreams, in order to see more, and in order to process more, okay? All right, let's see. Thank you for that question. Awesome question, Carolina. Keep changing your name. Samantha says, last month I was abducted by a T and they worked with my hands. Oh, interesting. Abduction's actually part of your soul contract. So This is a concept that I have to make a video about because there's way too much to talk about. But um, abduction means that you're being stolen out of your space without your without your permission. And that's not the way interdimensional contact works. And okay, there might be many other theories on this, but I'm going to tell you mine based on the mechanics of our reality and the way that our universe functions. When we are vibrating at a certain frequency, we have access to higher dimensional consciousness within that frequency that we're navigating. So when we have an encounter that manifests into the physical, your body is vibrating at, let's say, 8, 9, 11 dimensional frequency range. Okay, so there's all kinds of ETs around you. There's all kinds of beings, entities around you. The fact that you can see them and experience them means that you're vibrating at their frequency. So the kind of agreement, and this frequency is an activation from your genetic data, because it means that you are essentially a hybrid of this genetic lineage. If you're able to see certain ET families, it's because it's in your genetic code. Okay, so every ET that you encounter is an expression of your genetic data. It runs in your family. You've had encounters with these lineages for non-measurable times, non-measurable time. Okay, so all of these beings that are a manifestation, fractals of source, we are defining these. We make them. We make these images of how they look, okay, through our human filter. And historically, like Anunnaki, for example, we have certain consciousness that we're very aware of. But what we are looking at really, truly, is we are looking at the genes that make up what we are, the codes, the genetic data. Every single one of these ETs that we've created imagery for, because vibrational frequency has shape. So it creates this shape, just the way humans have a certain vibrational frequency, we look like. Okay, but my frequency is different from the person sitting next to me. So they're going to look slightly different. Interdimensional beings are operating by that same filter because we're creating that filter. And anytime we encounter with them, it's because we have this embedded in our DNA. So it's really important for us to understand that, okay? We are not going to encounter anything that isn't us. And I know that this might sound like completely, when I hear that, it's like, God, we're so arrogant. We actually think that, but it's because we're not understanding the nature of our existence. Our existence is vibrational frequency. Okay, there is no form. The form that we create is created through the filter, through this human experience. Okay, so we have to learn how to see beyond the physical that is given to us. And some of you already see things through higher. Okay. All right. So yeah, and a lot of these experiences are super healing. Somebody that does awesome research work and has evidence of this is Preston Dennett. Okay, love him so much. He's amazing. Check out his work. He has countless documentations of interdimensional contact, ET contact, that it's healing. And even in my own experiences, being healed from one day to the next after having a dream of these white lights coming into my body. I'll quickly tell you that story, but they discovered some strange amoeba-like foreign body inside of my body, and it was killing me. And the doctor said I had 3 months to live. I couldn't take antibiotics. I tried every antibiotic in the rainbow. None of them would work. I couldn't keep them down. Every time I would swallow them, they would come back up. I would have severe allergic reactions to them. So I ended up not taking any single cycle of antibiotic. And after, I think it was the 15th day of literally almost dying, I have a dream where this white light comes and I am touched in the back of my neck. And the next day I wake up 100% healed. I lost like 20 pounds. I was like a stick. And I was dehydrated. But I went to the doctor, and the doctor just was, I mean, I'll never forget his face. Well, you're fine. It's gone. There's nothing in your body. You're fine. So those kinds of events are just life-changing. Of course, at that time, I didn't really have the idea that it was ETs, right? ETs or interdimensional. I didn't understand what interdimensional was. I didn't understand the connection between the dream realm and our physical realm. But this is here to remind you that all of these aspects completely affect your physical reality. And the way that we process those experiences is the key to either your expansion or your contraction. Okay. So the amount of healing that can take place, you can also ask for this, but you literally, you have to bring yourself up to that vibrational frequency. Otherwise it won't happen. Okay. So I remember that I was just giving up and I came into a lot of love at that point. So and when I trace back all of those similar experiences, I remember I played a huge role in those healings as well. Okay. So remember how this works. It's really powerful. Okay. So happy to catch the live. I have a question on pain, my right arm pain from overusing my right arm. Work is very physical. Any advice to decode? Is it wounded masculine? Any advice? Much love. Right arm pain. Okay. This really has a lot to do with control. Okay. So I want you to take a look at relationship with control. Okay. Either feeling completely helpless in circumstances, not supported, primarily at the root of that. Okay. And when you can, and this is important because people that haven't let go of these kinds of programs this month, they will be in pain. The physical ailments that have been caused as a result of these programs of control, fear, resistance, as I was mentioning yesterday, are going to manifest into the physical. And I've been saying this for past year, but it's really coming up for a lot of people this time. Okay. And remember, we're like a rainbow. So every cycle, every portal, every alignment cosmically is going to touch every single one of you at some point. Okay. So right now, there's certain of you that are going to be deeply affected by this phase. So take the opportunity. Okay. The organism is asking you to heal, to change. Prism. Yeah. Nowadays, I remember my different lives in meditation. That's amazing. Yes, Kevin, we have a new challenge. Okay, guys, any other questions? Let's get into our meditation, okay? Thank you so much, guys. I'm so happy that this is helping you. I have a question. 2 days ago, I went to my garage at 6 a.m. and saw something move. I felt like it was a man, but I couldn't see his face. I wanted to know if he had a message. Okay, Patty. So every time that we encounter something or we feel something, a presence, remember, you're just tuning into one thing, but you're actually surrounded by a ton of things. So we have to learn. You know, this has to do with support. This also has to do with support, but in a different way. It's kind of like, is the masculine supporting us? Do we need masculine support? Like, you know, and yeah, so the message is, you know, this came into space because this individual experienced similar thing that you're going through, Patty, emotionally. Okay, so the best way that I can describe this, and I wish I can't go much into detail in this live, my love, I'm sorry. But you need to come into love. Anytime that you encounter something, I want you to come into love, okay? Because it's about encountering, in other words, your guides or your fractals of yourself in this dimension are, they're supporting to you, they're coming to you, they're coming to be like, we're here, you're good, you're fine. And that's really the most simplistic way that I could tell you a more complicated thing with whatever it is that you're experiencing. So I just want to remind you, please immediately come into your crown chakra, shine your light on whatever you see and see the contract. The easiest way for any of you to discern what you're experiencing is this: seventh and eighth chakra activated, shine it on top of the entity, the being, and take a look at the contract. When I first started healing years ago, a bunch of ghosts, like disembodied souls, would come to my house all the time. And I would be woken up at 3, 2 in the morning, and I would be called to go to the top of my staircase and look down. And there would be someone there that was either injured in a car accident or a child, and several times children. And when I would see them, at first it scared me because I was like, oh my gosh, what is this ghost being? And when I shined my crown on them, I saw their contract. And as a healer, and as an agreement with these aspects of ourselves, we're in resonance emotionally. We can transmute this interaction. Some of these souls need to go back to the light, but they got lost. Okay. So when you embody love, you create a body of glass so it doesn't attach to your body. You become light. You turn yourself into your light. You imagine that this physical body dissolves and all you are is light. And you allow the soul to see light and go back to its source, because it is trapped in a dimension. So, but you can see what your agreement is with the beings. If it's a big contract, then you have some work to do. If there's no contract or a little contract, they really don't have anything for you. So just allow yourself to let them leave your space. Okay. You can also ask them to leave the space, but never come into fear, because otherwise you attach. So remember this. Do we have to reincarnate until our soul learns what it needs to learn, or are there ways to stop the cycle? We exist simultaneously in all dimensional layers. There's no separation, there's no beginning, and there's no end. When we change the frequency of this fractal to a very conductive frequency, then it will dissolve. So it won't need to reincarnate into this frequency, because this earth is a frequency. This embodiment, this fractal manifestation is a frequency. This entire experience is a frequency. Okay. So when you transmute this frequency, automatically nothing disappears. It just becomes the whole. It goes back to the whole. Okay. It just reallocates. But what happens is that when the conduit turns into a higher frequency, it goes back to that higher frequency, whatever it is. Now, if you haven't transmuted this, you're going to keep matching this earth frequency. There's nothing wrong with incarnating in the earth, but it completely depends on you, what you want to experience. Okay. All right, guys. Yes, I'm doing a meditation. Let's jump in. I know you guys have lots of questions, but let's come into it. Okay. Let's go ahead and inhale deeply and exhale. I'm going to answer more of your questions at the end. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. I want you all to inhale deeply and exhale. Come completely into your body. With every breath you take, bring yourself into a state of stillness. We're going to anchor down to the center of the earth. I want you to start by closing your root chakra, shrinking the first layer of your body. Okay, go ahead and close the second chakra, shrinking the second layer of your body. Go into the third layer of your body, your solar plexus, shrink it down to the size of a dime. Expanding your heart chakra. Notice any parts of your heart chakra that don't want to expand. Go up into your third eye. Your throat. Expand your throat. Okay, the fifth layer of your body. Expand the sixth layer of your body. Expanding the third eye chakra. Go ahead and see the vibrational frequency that represents your highest expression. Take it up into the seventh and the eighth. Activate the seventh and eighth. From the eighth chakra, take it down to the seventh. You're going to allocate this high intention into your career, abundance, love, consciousness, joy, harmony, success, creativity, money, sexual energy, creative life force, healing, your health, your vitality, truth, balance, and your purpose. Okay. As you ground yourself down to the center of the earth, go ahead and visualize from the center of the earth a powerful wave of green life force rushing up into the body, creating a vortex of energy. Allow yourself to activate the spin of your lower vortex. Okay. From source, go ahead and pull down a powerful wave of golden light that comes down to the crown of your head, mixing with the green earth energy. Go ahead and take 10% of that, send it back down to the center of the earth. Let go all the heaviness of the day out of your body. Any resistance in the body, any fears, any anxieties, any expectations, any thoughts of the past, any thoughts of the future, to come fully into the present moment. Go ahead and heighten your senses. What are you hearing? What are you tasting? What are you smelling? What are you sensing around you? Go ahead and take 80% of this up your spine, clearing out the higher levels of your spine, all of that dormant programs, blockages, thought forms that are stuck in the higher bodies, in the upper layers of your body, in your spinal cord, in the crown of your head, creating a fountain coating the outside of your field. Go back to the solar plexus, take that final 10%, bring that green and gold energy into the body. Go ahead and nourish, healing your physical body into the pores, the flesh, the muscles, the bones, down to the cellular level. Okay, you should feel completely reconnected with your physical body right now. You're going to connect with the cells of your body, asking the cells of your body to wake up consciousness, to come into awareness. Okay, so as you allow yourself to go deeper into relaxation, notice the parts of you that don't want to relax, any tension or strong emotions that start coming up in this stillness. Take all your attention to those parts of your body that want to continue being contracted, both emotionally and physically. And I want you to observe, really, really focused, observing. You're going to observe with the muscles in your body. You're going to observe with your nervous system, and you're going to observe with your mind, with your awareness. As you observe, allow the layers of your body to begin to release the information until you're able to bring the body into absolute relaxation. And it might take several layers, that's okay. Letting go of information that are caught up in these muscle layers of your body. You're going to breathe deeply into the parts that are contracted, expanding them. So if it's the abdomen, breathe deeply into the abdomen. If it's your back, breathe deeply into your back. If it's your arm, breathe deeply into the arm. Okay, this is how you will bring energy with your mind, with your intention, expanding the energy in these spaces. When you bring breath into different, when you direct intentionally breath into different parts of your body, you are telepathically communicating with the cells in that part of the body to activate and to change frequency. Okay. Because every breath is a calming frequency. Depending on how fast you're breathing, the frequency of your breath changes. And it trips the brain into relaxation. It also changes the wave of your brains. The brain waves that your brain is emitting. Breathing. Okay, continue focusing on parts of your body that want to contract. And the more still that you stay, the more you stay in just observation of your body, the more you will uncover. The deeper into relaxation you will go, until finally your body will feel very fluid, very expansive, and literally when you have your eyes closed and your energy is contracted, you can only see very little. Like you can barely visualize your multidimensional body. But when you let go more of those layers, your vision will also be able to expand. And it's almost as if you'll be able to see your multidimensional body. So be patient with yourself, okay? And as your vision begins to expand to your field, go ahead and notice how far out your energy extends around you. Notice the parts of your body that are still contracted in these further layers of your body. And just gently bringing them into a nice expansion. Very good. Okay, so yesterday we identified parts of us that are in resistance. So today we're going to continue that work. So go ahead and take a look at your day. And I want you to notice the parts of you that were in resistance today. If it's night for you, take a look at your morning. If it's morning for you, take a look at yesterday. So since you and I last met, begin to observe what you have been in resistance to. This is anything that you're resisting, emotions, people's reactions, things that you read in the news. Okay. Your resistance to things that you don't agree with magnify those things. They don't neutralize it. Working with the body, bringing the body into a state of neutrality. Try to keep your body as expanded as possible while you are looking at yourself through these memories. Because you might feel like you want to get identified with what you're observing. You might be judging yourself for things that you resisted, and that's creating contraction in your energetic field, in your body. So the mastery here is to maintain absolute expansion in your physical, and yet be able to observe these experiences through neutrality, non-judgment. What are some of the things that didn't allow you to embody your highest expression today? Stay grounded. Everything is possible when you're in meditation. You can tune into all kinds of things. And remember that you are white light at the center of everything. So nothing can harm you. Nothing can cause an imbalance in your body because you are light. Are there elements of self-sabotage in your day? Why? If there is, why? Okay, so as you begin to observe these, you're going to begin to observe some things that you might be wanting to let go now. Okay, you might become aware of some things that you can definitely let go, but you're not letting go. Okay, so I want you to take a look at those. What are some of the things that we are avoiding letting go that create self-sabotage and that block you from embodying your highest self? Without judgment. Stay as still as possible, observing. Because another form of emotional distress is when you start moving around a lot, when you start seeing difficult experiences. Watch yourself. If you see something that's hard to look at, you're gonna get jittery. You're gonna want to move around. So make sure that you maintain absolute stillness to help cultivate your nervous system, because what's reacting is actually the subconscious mind through the nervous system, okay, and through the muscle system as well. So as soon as you feel strong waves of emotion moving through you, stay super still, not contracting, but expansive and non-judgmental, okay? That means that emotion can quickly move through you in all of its full expression, in all of its glory, whatever it is. If it's sadness, if it's anger, let it express itself through your body, feel it fully, and then let it see how it goes. It's like a shooting star emotions. They start out small and then they get very intense and then start to kind of disappear. They start to dissolve. Okay. All you need to catch is the information from the intensity. That's all you need to catch. Okay. And you will catch that as very subtle images, concepts, thought forms, emotions that come up. So take the information in whatever way it comes up for you. Don't get overwhelmed by anything you see. Stay grounded, stay neutral. And gently ask yourself, what do you need in order to release this thought form? What do you need in order to release this program? To let go of it? What do you need from yourself? This is an important question. What do you need from yourself towards yourself? That's it. There's only the self, nothing external. If you start saying, I need my dog to stop barking, I need my husband to stop annoying me, I need him to be there more, whatever it is, whatever program it is, bring yourself back to yourself. And the question is, what is it that you need in order to no longer respond that way or feel that way, emote that way? Okay, and this will bring you back to yourself. And once again, I want you to find that child. I want you to find the ego that is hiding, that is protecting itself. Okay, go ahead and find that ego, that little child, and bring them up. You're going to feel, I want you to feel into the emotions of this ego self or this child self. Identify those emotions. That'll tell you everything that they require in order to release. Okay. And whatever is being said that they need, I want you to immediately begin to provide for yourself right here in this moment. Okay, so begin to infuse yourself with all the things that you require in order to let that ego come to neutrality, in order to let this event go, this person go, this thought go, this trauma go. Okay, and as you infuse this little ego or the child with this new understanding, begin to see your body readjusting, okay? Some of you might feel more expansive, more energized. Some of you might feel tired, and that's because you attached to emotions. So go ahead and release all of the tension in your body until you feel completely relaxed again, coming back to 0 point. And as you are in 0 point, I want you to come into unconditional self-love for yourself. I want you to come into compassion, to profound compassion for yourself. Notice parts of your body that want to twitch. When you feel this compassion, those are the parts that have trauma, that need compassion. Just allow your body to gently feel the waves of compassion come over. As you begin to acknowledge yourself, fill your body with acknowledgement, acknowledge every part of your body. You'll notice yourself coming more fully into your body. You'll notice that your multidimensional body heals when you do this. Okay. I want you to fill your body with self-acceptance, profound self-acceptance, radical self-acceptance. Some of you might feel your face shifting, your chest expanding, your abdomen relaxing, your perineum expanding, the soles of your feet expanding. Why? Because when you accept yourself, you get to ground to the earth. You become one with the earth. Okay. Breathing. Just notice the beauty of the intelligence of your body. What I'm telling you is what you already know. I'm telling you what you experience in your body, but sometimes we don't have the language to express it, or sometimes we don't have the awareness to identify it. So if it resonates with you, or if it doesn't resonate with you, it might serve as a guidance. Allow yourself to come into absolute observation, but allow the body to restore itself with this frequency of information. I want you to fill your body with love, unconditional love. I mean, I want you to feel warmth, love, as if you are in love with yourself. You appreciate the beauty of this vessel, appreciate the journey of this physical body that is encasing this masterful soul, this seeker that works to seek truth. Okay, you begin to feel the layers of your body expanding. I want you to open the root chakra back up, expand the first layer of your body, clear the first layer of your body, the first dimensional layer. Okay, go ahead and open the second dimensional layer of your body and clear the second dimensional layer. Any kind of debris, entities, attachments, heal any holes, tears, rips, parts that are missing of your field. Okay, go into the third layer of your body, expand the third layer of your body, not about 6 inches wide around your body, clearing out any debris, blockages, healing the field completely, sealing any openings. Notice the adjustments, little subtle adjustments to the emotional body and also the physical body. Just observe, don't judge, don't apply meaning, don't get scared, don't get too happy. Just observe in neutrality, okay? Just explore. Okay, go into the fourth layer of your body. Go ahead and this body is expanded already. So go ahead and clear out any debris from the fourth layer of your body. Clear and heal any openings in your fourth layer. If you have pain in your body, this is one of the most powerful ways to eliminate pain in the body. One of these layers holds your pain. One or all or many. Go into the fifth layer of your body. Go ahead and clear the fifth layer. Seal any openings. The sixth layer of your body now. Did we do the fifth? Yeah, fifth. Throat chakra. And third eye. Clearing and sealing. Healing, becoming whole, remember. Go up into the seventh layer of your body. It should feel really good by now. Go into the seventh layer. Go ahead and expand that seventh layer of your body all around. Fill it with the color of your highest vibrational frequency. Look into your 8. What color is in the 8th chakra? And you're going to fill the 7th with that color. Fill the 8th. Fill the 9th. Activate the 9th. Expand the 9th layer of your body. Expand and fill the 10th layer of your body. Expand the 11th layer of your body. Expand the 12th. Expand the 13th. Expand the 14th layer of your body. When you're expanding, you're also sealing. Make sure you remember every layer of the body is like a sphere. It should be completely sealed. Expand the 13th layer of your body. Expand the 14th layer of your body. The 15th, the 16th, the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21, 22. Notice how you become super grounded and super connected. Now you integrate as you connect to source. Bring that source down through all 22 layers. I want you to activate the chakra between the heart and the solar plexus, closing the loop of your DNA strand of energy. Your laced energy that moves through your body. Go down to the perineum. Go ahead and breathe deeply, rising that energy up to the crown. Ground yourself down to the center of the earth. Anchor white light into earth as you heal earth. Eliminating any negative charge in your body, bringing the body into neutrality. Bringing the brain into alpha state. Go ahead and open your eyes. And as you come back into the room, allow yourself to see your multidimensional field. Okay? Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to meditate with me. You guys are amazing. I'm going to go into the chat really quick and see if there's any final questions here. Geraldine, what is the best way to get out of a burnout situation? I have done so many meditations, but sometimes life catches you with a lot of stress that in my case gives heart issues. So the first question is why we went out of alignment with spirituality in the first place. And a lot of the reason why we do is because we reach a wall of doubt somewhere. Okay. So I just want you to check in and gently take a look at any kind of programs of doubt that we might have reached or uncomfortable with unknowns. moments that we have become confused about spiritual concepts, about the integration of spirituality into our physical life? Has it been difficult to integrate this spiritual self into your everyday work life? Okay. And are there doubts or fears around that integration process? So I want you to work on creating more of an integration in understanding that meditation is not just an isolated 1 hour compartmentalized practice, but it's a state of awareness. Okay. And that will change who you are. This is what we'll talk about tomorrow. The ego death, the identity death of what we used to be, the person with the outgoing personality, talking, joking, being whatever you are, is going to change. You're not going to laugh at the same jokes. You're not going to go with the flow of unconscious interactions. You're not. You're just not. Because we become so awake and so aware about things that we just can't continue to reintegrate into falsities, and things that fall out of alignment with nature no longer feel healthy anymore. And that's okay. Okay. When you do this, your circle of friends, families, everything will change. And it will allow the opportunity for them to change their frequency too. Okay. So this is the courage of the light worker, the courage of the seeker, the alchemist that has to learn how to hold space in unconditional love, to be able to see beyond the fear of others and the reactions of those fears, in order to be able to hold space in a powerful way. Okay. So I just want you to take a look, like, because in spirituality, it's very easy to get stuck and to get disappointed with certain parts. And burnout is the #1 side effect of disconnection between the higher self. When we are connected to source, we are clear about we are not lying to ourselves. We're in absolute authenticity and truth. And truth is never exhausting, because it's always a balance exchange. It's always a conscious co-creation. It's never that we're overextending ourselves. We're never acting beyond our healthy limits. And that's because that's the truth in alignment with nature. So please pay attention to that. And, when we're conscious, you can't hurt yourself when you're conscious. Illness doesn't exist in a body of light of a higher frequency. Okay. So I hope that resonates. If not, tell me in the message. I'll be happy to go deeper with you. Okay. Any thoughts on how to rid someone of spirits that enter during sleep? She talks in different voices and yelling. So each individual human, as I mentioned, the law of free will, we can't heal other people. This is an agreement that she has made to experience. So she would have to be completely in alignment with deprogramming fear programs, traumas, and fragmentations that are causing tears in her field, in order to create a low frequency that when she leaves the body, essentially she's experiencing really low frequency interactions. Okay. So again, we can suggest, we can inform, we can educate, we can share, but ultimately every single human has to wake up from their dream state, literally, in order to take control of what's occurring to them. Okay. So I hope that helps, Rockers Los Angeles. I understand it can be difficult, but if and here's one thing you can do, is that if this is your partner, for example, or someone that whatever, you sleep next to them, especially if you sleep next to them, our agreements to interact and support one another are a little stronger than they are with strangers. Okay. So that means that you do have an inherent agreement to support each other, if that's welcome. Okay. So if she wakes up from that dream and you fill the room with the color gold, okay, completely fill the room filled with the color gold, and you hold that energy as she goes to sleep, it will create a container in which her frequency will rise to the resonance of the room. You have to ground yourself. You have to come into body of glass, into this neutral light. Okay, you have to become light, and you're going to create your bubble around her. She's going to have a bubble around her. You can create a bubble around each other, a bubble around the room, creating white, golden light to hold frequency so that she won't go lower than the frequency of the room. Okay. So maybe it's your daughter, maybe it's your friend, I don't know. But that's something that you can utilize. And before you do that, I want you to meditate, asking her higher self, see if that agreement is in alignment. Ask her if you can do that. Ask her. Okay. Serge, thank you so much for that. Jonas Trips, interesting to find someone address the release of oneself from egregores. Been here 3 minutes and sub. Thank you so much for subbing, Jonas. Though I'm not sure if this is the ego reinforcement. Why not just stillness and observation? Yeah, you can do stillness and observation, absolutely, but you also need to know how to transmute from that observation the emotions that come up. So as long as you know how to do that, you're good. You can do observation, no problem. But I do practice energy alchemy here. So we are very proactive about that. And a lot of people don't know what to do when they observe and they find something difficult. So remember, always regulating the nervous system. That's what I'm training and doing. So this is something that might help. Okay. So this is the first meditation I've actually successfully tried. Awesome, Jimmy. Thank you, Lonika Yoli. Jimmy, yes, big thank you, Geraldine. Pretty sure I was meant to hear this tonight. Oh, love you. So glad. Lisa Davy, thank you for that super chat, guys. Your super chats help me so much. Thank you very much. Keep this going. And it's just a nice gift to have. Thank you so much. Let me have these for free. Thank you so much, Geraldine. Thank you, Dutch UFO, for real. Sun Lazuli, hi. I have a question. The other night I had a dream of having an implant in my nose. I'm wondering what this means and could it be true? I used to see UFOs all the time when I was young. Yeah, so as I mentioned, I don't know if you were here earlier, sorry, my contacts are getting dry. Again, our level of vibrational frequency, we can start looking. So what I want you to do is in meditation, take yourself back to the dream, remote view the dream, take a look at who's there with you. You can have a notebook to write it down, or you can record yourself as you speak out your experience that you're reliving, and identify the agreement with these beings. Take a look at who you're interacting with, shine your crown light on top of them, even if you don't see them completely physically, shine your crown on them and see the contract. If it's a big contract, then this is a supportive or something that you agreed to. Okay, implant or whatever. And remember, we filter these experiences through our mind, so it may or may not be a implant. It might be something else that it looks and it feels like an implant through your human brain, but in reality, they're working in your field somehow. And the way that we perceive that is an implant in the body. Okay, because implants, when you see them multidimensional, they're multidimensional. They're in the body, but they're mostly in the field. So I want you to tune in, remote view, how far into the layers of your body is the implant. Take a look at the nose or any part of the body, and then take a look at the field and how that is. Okay. Nice channel, nice character. Thanks for the response. Thank you, Jonas. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the family. Hope you enjoy. Isla Kota says, thank you, Fidel. Thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Lucifer Lucian, I dreamed I was being taught how to run at the speed of light. Wow, by a light being. Awesome, Lucian. Amazing. Lots of my clients have this kind of educational dreams. You're learning, you're training, because you are, okay? Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, and you've also been a monk and a high vibrational priest many lifetimes. So, you know, we resonate with that energy. Okay. All right, my loves. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for hanging out with me till 11. I love you so much. And I hope you guys have an amazing night. I'll see you tomorrow at 1 for Self-Love Sundays. Okay, much love. Bye-bye.